Bro, there's a spider right over there on my wall, but I'm going to do this video anyway, so stay there, buddy. All right, today let's take a look at the big picture with the draft being over, minicamp invites happening, UDFA signings, and a way too early 53-man roster projection. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Chiefs and the NFL overall, so make sure to sub if you're new, hit that like button if you're still recovering from everything that happened during the draft, and let's get into this. First off, I hope you guys are doing well. I am pretty exhausted from the draft coverage, but I had a ton of fun covering it, and it's pretty crazy that we are creeping up on 10,000 subscribers. I got like 600 or almost 700 subs just from the draft coverage, and I just want to say thank you. Take a moment and just say thanks. I started this channel just 3-ish months ago at the end of January. So what is that, 4 months ago or something now? But I never thought I would get views. I never thought I would get traction. I just love the Chiefs. Been dreaming of making a YouTube channel for over a year. Decided to pull the trigger. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. And since we're creeping up on 10,000 subs, I just want to let you all know that when we hit 10,000, I am going to sell my house. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing anything crazy like that. I'm going to do my first live stream. I have not gone live yet on this channel. So once we hit 10,000 subs and we're really close, I'm going to go live. We'll plan it out, plan a time, and I'm just going to talk with you all. We can do a Q&A and just hang out. That's the plan, to celebrate 10,000 subs and to say thanks to each and every one of you. Just know I am freaking grateful, man. It's been so fun. All right, with all that being said, let's start off by recapping again who got drafted and how they got drafted, and then we'll move on from there. In round one, you had the Chiefs trading up with the Patriots from 29 to 21, giving up pick 29, a third-round pick, number 94, and pick 121 to move up and snag cornerback Trent McDuffie at pick 21. Next up was defensive end George Karlaftis. He was selected at pick 30, followed by Sky Moore, wide receiver Sky Moore at pick 54, and the Chiefs actually traded back with the Patriots from 50 to 54 in exchange for a 5th-round pick, which is pick 158, and it's important to note and remember that because they use it to trade up later in the draft to grab somebody special.
And Hulk.
From there, they selected safety Brian Cook at pick 62, and next up was linebacker Leo Chenal. He is a beast, y'all. I've been researching even more into him since we got drafted, and I'm going to cover probably his own video, but dude, he is a machine. Anyway, they picked him at pick 103, and round 4 was cornerback Joshua Williams at 135, and then we used that 5th-round pick that we got from trading back with the Patriots, which was pick 158, and we also used our highest 7th-round pick, pick 233, to move up and get offensive lineman Darian Kennard at pick 145. And then our 7th-round picks were cornerback Jalen Watson, running back Isaiah Pacheco, and safety Nazeeh Johnson. And with the conclusion of the draft, the Chiefs selected a total of 10 players, and I'll probably do a different video on this, but we have a lot of good draft grades. PFF gave us an A+. Other people have given us top 5. We're a top 5 team as far as draft selections and who we got out of it, and other people have given us like 10 out of 10. I mean, we did really well. We'll see how it translates from paper to NFL, but I am very excited. I'm sure you guys are too. But the festivities, guys, are not quite over. The team will continue to add undrafted free agents to fill out their 90-man roster. They'll need to add just 4 players in order to completely fill the offseason roster, but they could also release some reserve future signings in order to make room for undrafted players. They'll also invite a number of players to try out at their rookie minicamp, which will take place either this weekend or the next weekend. It's either the first or second week following the draft. The Chiefs have found some gems in undrafted free agency in the past. Think of Tershawn Wharton. He's the most notable one on the roster right now, but you have others like Tommy Townsend, Shane Buechele, Jody Fortson, and then some of the past UDFAs include players like Daniel Sorensen, Byron Pringle, Zane Anderson, and Ben Neiman. And Zane Anderson, I think, is on the team right now, so he's not a past one. But those other guys, very notable. And I also believe Charvarius Ward was a UDFA as well, and then we traded for him, but he became a baller. So you never really know, to be honest. And with that being said, let's take a look at this list of UDFAs, and then we'll take a look at some training camp invitees. And I'm not gonna lie, the list is long and comprehensive, and it's still being updated. So I'm gonna tackle this in this video, and then from this point forward, I'm only gonna point to probably new additions or to a list with a link in the description that they're going to continue populating new guys that get added. So it looks like the Chiefs signed Maryland running back Tayon Fleet Davis. As a redshirt senior last fall, Fleet Davis was the team's rushing leader with 128 carries for 721 yards. That's 5.6 yards per carry and 8 TDs. He also caught 32 passes for 305 yards and a receiving TD. So yeah, very solid there. Then you have Ole Miss running back, I almost said Old McDonald. Old Miss running back, Jerion Ely. He's 5'8", 189 pounds, and runs a 4.52 40. A little bit smaller of a guy, but he totaled up 768 yards and 5 TDs in 2021. And Roto Heat's draft profile on him says, in the team that does end up drafting Eli, so the Chiefs, I believe will have a very specific plan for him as he possesses a very specific skill set. Eli displays very good patience, shown an ability to let an over-aggressive defender miss before hitting the gap with speed and accelerating to the second level. He's a quality and complete pass catcher out of the backfield, showing a diversity in routes and good vision in space. He has a skill set that every NFL team looks for and will likely be able to stay in the league for a solid career. He showed good vision and looks like a capable kick returner, which will only help his draft stock and ability to stick in the NFL. And then you have Quay Brown, a Southern Illinois defensive back. He's 5'11", 206 pounds, and was voted Defensive Player of the Year at SIU. And then you have Kent State quarterback Dustin Crum. Crum is 6'3", 207 pounds, and completed 244 of 381 passes for 3,187 yards with 20 TDs and 6 interceptions. Competition for Patrick Mahomes? No. But a practice squad guy? More than likely. Next up is Hawaii offensive lineman Gene Pryor. Pryor is 6'3", 310 pounds, and started 8 games at right tackle last season. Then you have a couple linebackers, former South Dakota linebacker Jack Cochran and Iowa State linebacker Mike Rose, both signed with the Chiefs last season. Rose was one of 4 finalists for the Lombardi Award, which is given to the nation's best lineman or linebacker. Rose was the 2020 Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. So yeah, this guy is a baller. He might actually end up making the roster. I'm not going to lie here. At the very least, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the practice squad and used as depth in case one of our main guys got hurt. And then you have University of the Incarnate Word. I'm not joking. That's the real name. Wide receiver Trevor Begue. Begue is his last name. He's 5'11", 189 pounds, and had 46 receptions for 620 yards last season. So yeah, some receiver depth there. And here's a few more that I see. You have Wake Forest defensive back Nazir Greer. He also took a top 30 visit with the Chiefs. So hey, that's promising. You have Merrimack defensive back Caleb Holden and Northern Colorado defensive back Kamote Coffee. I like his last name a lot. In fact, I need more coffee now that I say his name. Dang it. Okay, and here's some of the Chiefs rookie minicamp invites that I see, and there's quite a bit of them, and more are continuing to join this list, probably even as I record this video. But you have Western Michigan wide receiver Bryce Nunelli, Boston College edge Brandon Barlow, Tulane safety Jalen Monroe, Northwestern State receiver Kendrick Price, and former Virginia running back Devin Darrington, Howard Payne wide receiver Jake Parker, Virginia offensive lineman Chris Glazer, and the list just keeps going. To be honest, it's a pretty wild list, and if you are overwhelmed right now with all the names I just spit out, that's totally fine, because so am I. I might need therapy after this episode, if we're going to be honest. There's a lot to keep track of, and who knows who's even going to make the cut. Some of these guys may make the practice squad. A lot may never see anything out of this at all, but what you all need to do if you want to keep active tabs on who is where and what is happening, go to the UDFA tracker reference link in my description from Chiefs Wire. They are going to be continually updating this list and adding to it and making sure you guys are all up to date and in the know. So yeah, link in the description for that. And speaking of Chiefs Wire, they put out an article of a 53-man roster projection, a way too early one, but they even say that it's way too early. But this is based on all the new draftees and the other players currently on the roster. So I wanted to take a big picture look at this. It's just a projected list, nothing definitive by any means, but it's worth glancing at and looking over to see how this projection could change over the months to come, especially after the conclusion of the rookie minicamp, training camp, etc., before all the roster cuts end up happening. So first up, you got 3 QBs. You have Mahomes, Henne, and Shane Buechele, with UDFA QB Dustin Crum currently a possibility for the practice squad. This list is probably not changing. Henne is here for at least a season. He's on like a decent contract, like a few $1 million, I think. So he's not going anywhere more than likely. And then Shane Buechele is showing nice promise, and Mahomes is worth $500 million and is a legend. He ain't moving, y'all. Let's move on to running backs with a total of 4. Currently, it's looking like this: CEH, Ronald Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, and then fullback Michael Burton. You could toss Derek Gore into running back 3 instead of Isaiah Pacheco, but Pacheco on paper and from previous film shows great promise because of his speed. He runs a 4.36 40. His love for blocking, very physical there, and his unique ability on special teams as a returner. He may notch a roll over Gore because of that. And then you have Jerrion Ealy and Tavon Fleet Davis, who will be there as depth more than likely on the practice squad, as well as either Derek Gore or Isaiah Pacheco. So my question to you all is, who is going to be RB3? Would it be Derek Gore? We liked him a lot last year when we saw him, but this Isaiah Pacheco, he throws a curveball, and I am interested to see how he performs in camp and during the preseason as well. For tight ends, you have the 4 main guys from last year, which probably is not going to change. You have Travis Kelce, Blake Bell, Noah Gray, and then Jody Fortson. The only semi-question mark is Fortson and his injury, but if he seems to recover well, he will definitely make the depth chart and see snaps on the field for sure. Taking a look at the wide receiver lineup right now, you probably have about 6 as part of the active roster. You have Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, Marquez Valdez, Scantling, Sky Moore, Darius Fountain, and Corey Coleman. And the reason why Chiefs Wire lists Corey Coleman on there and not Josh Gordon, because I know some of you are like, Josh Gordon, he's going to have a breakout year. He might. Sorry, I don't know what just happened there. I think my coffee just kicked in. But Corey Coleman returned both punts and kicks in college, so he may end up being that guy. But you also have running back Isaiah Pacheco as well to be considered to run back kicks and punts. So, I mean, I guess Josh Gordon can end up making this as of right now, but it's hard to tell and really know. It's pretty early there. But Darius Fountain is on there because he was on the 53-man roster last season as well because of his ability on special teams. So that's at least where it's looking right now. Do you guys agree or disagree with that? Let me know in the comments down below. Josh Gordon. Let's glance at the offensive line from here. 9 big ol' monsters. You have Orlando Brown Jr. Okay, the spider is still there. You have Orlando Brown Jr., Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Darian Kennard, Andrew Wiley, Nick Allegretti, Austin Ryder, and Prince Tega Wanagho. Some of you may be wondering, where the heck is Lucas Niang? Well, he's more than likely going to be on the physically unable to perform or PUP list. Yeah, updates on his rehab have been positive, but this isn't an easy injury to come back from, so he'll more than likely return at some point, but I doubt it's going to be at the start of the season. What do you guys think? You agree? Disagree? I don't know. There are more UDFAs incoming that could compete for some of these backup spots like Ryder. I don't see Wiley or Allegretti being removed from the lineup at all. Let's take a look at the defensive side here. You have defensive tackles as of right now being around 5. Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, Tershawn Wharton, Colin Saunders, and Taylor Stallworth. They didn't address the D-line much at all in the draft, to be honest, and so all that's changing up currently is swapping out Jaron Reed for Taylor Stallworth. Some training camp guys could push their way up the list, but time will tell there, that's for sure. Looking at defensive ends, you have Frank Clark, the newly added George Karlaftis, Mike Dana, Joshua Kendo, and Malik Herring. Not the most savage list in the world, but George Karlaftis hopefully helps make a difference here. If Kendo stays healthy, maybe he will start to shine. And then you never know about Malik Herring. So yeah, defensive line, there you have it. Linebackers look to be Nick Bolton, Willie Gay Jr., Leo Chenal, and then Jermaine Carter. They could have 5 on the active roster instead of 4, and there are others very hungry for a spot. You have new additions, Jack Cochran or Mike Rose that I talked about earlier. Then you also have Darius Harris and Elijah Lee. Who will make it? We shall see. It's going to be competitive there, that is for sure. Stay over there. Now, let's look at cornerbacks for a second. You have L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Rashad Fenton, DiCaprio Bootle, Joshua Williams, and Jalen Watson. DeAndre Baker could make the cut, but I'm honestly not sure here. This is going to be a competitive fight, I think, near the bottom of the cornerback roster. Bootle plays a lot of special teams as well as outside and nickel ability in the secondary, so he may have some added value there over some of the others. And for safeties, you have Juan Thornhill, Justin Reed, Brian Cook, and Deion Bush. I think spot number 4 is a competition between Bush and new draftee Nazeeh Johnson. You also have Zane Anderson and Devon Key as well there, so that 4th spot is going to be a competitive fight, that is for sure. And finally, we have 3 specialists. Kicker Harrison Butker, punter Tommy Townsend, and YouTuber Coldy Roos. And long snapper James Winchester. And hey, don't forget that safety Justin Reed could both kick field goals and do kickoffs in a pinch if Butker got injured. So that's interesting to note there. All right, with all that being said, what do you guys think of this way too early projection of the 53-man roster? Do you like it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. My question is still about the D-line. Will we sign any free agents? What about a free agent veteran receiver? There's still some questions there that will be answered as time goes on. And I'm not going to lie, guys, prepping this video got me cross-eyed. Literally, as this was the most names I've ever mentioned in one video in my channel's history. I literally felt like I was reading out of a school directory for like 8 minutes straight, just name, name, name. But hopefully you guys found some value in this, and I just felt like I needed to take a step back, look at the big picture as it looks right now with the draft over and the Chiefs rookie minicamp coming up. And then here soon in some of my upcoming videos, I'm going to do some deeper dives into our new draftees and stuff like that, go over a lot of the interviews that have happened, because there was so much coverage, things to cover during the draft, I just couldn't hit it all, and it's been overwhelming, to be honest. But I'm here to keep you all in the know and up to date every step of the way. So make sure to sub for your daily dose of Chiefs news, and take a look at yesterday's video here if you haven't already, which talks about our new running back Isaiah Pacheco and our other 7th round picks. And until next time, let's go. How about those